we all, over the years, discovered you a lot more through your writings, through the music, through all of your art, right? More than in interviews like this one. But when you start to listen to the music, you're like trying to seek for some ground, something you could know or even understand, which is not coming, and it's not happening until you simply decide to just let go and without trying to understand it, just trying to, like just like the water that we could see through the whole album we listened to. Is this a little bit why?
But in Tanger, that's again, I'm sorry to get you back always there, but I spend like most of my time there, and there's like the life in Tanger is really, it's outside, and I had the wonderful privilege to live in a place with the people. The owners became my real good friends. So I was able to. So I was always on the terrace, and I had like the view on the sea between the coast of Spain and North Africa. And so I spend my days literally like on there working and writing and working and writing from morning to late at night. But in that sense of that sensation of freedom, of losing yourself, when you're just like envisioning yourself, just like leaving, but you're still at the same place. I'm a creature of habit, and when I'm working, when I found the perfect environment for me to feel just at peace with it, so then I will go back to that same setting. So every day I was seated at the same place, working and writing and looking at the sea and looking at the boats and the people and hearing like it's the old part of the city in Tanger, and to hear that, and that was very it's a different chaos and a different set of sounds. And at first it was very difficult. I was more like I was a standby witnessing life, and at one point I was part of that sound. I was part of that life. I was part of the scenery, and I was somehow part of other people's life as well who were living there, was like traveling, coming back, seeing. So it really changes my approach about how I see things. And the sky is wonderful in Tanger. It's blue. It's very, very unique. And I think that as I was writing and really letting go, I think that I realized that what was clouding my life, all that sky, that it's really like all the things that I tried to shut down, and just to think about, I'll think about it later, or I don't want to look at it anymore. So you just like kind of recreate an artificial scenery where you don't have to face your own darkness, where you don't have to feel your own shadows, and even to the point where you don't even believe in your own reflection. You become a stranger to yourself, and you're just like into that self preservation pattern. So, and as I was like writing and letting go, I think that there was like little pieces of the sky really like shining a little bit there, and then that's the image of the record, with the ocean reflecting the sky and everything. So that's because this is really what it was about. That was everyday life for me, and so I was able to face some of those issues that I kept like.
And how did that happen? Did it came up like naturally, like
face that?
Or all of a sudden you just decided to like being uncomfortable and just say?
Honestly, first it was horrible, just to be by myself, to be there alone, a stranger in a completely different culture, nothing to hold on to, and that was it freaks me out. And I think that if you guys are very honest, I don't think you would. If you had to bet, I'm pretty sure you all told yourself, well, he's going to be back in a week or something.
Guilty, definitely. I did that. And I even called the hotel, making sure, is he okay?
Yeah. But I wasn't okay, and it was okay.
Sure.
So, and I think that it was important for me to say, well, okay, I need to face that, and there was absolutely no intention of coming back. And more and more, that thought became something that was that took a lot of place, but for a different reason.
Sure.
Because at the beginning you said, well, I don't want to come back because it would be such a failure, and it would. And I think in my head I was like, if I go back at this point, I'll never be free.
And it's just funny you say so, because this is what I was hoping you would not come back.
Thank you.
In a way, because I knew that if you came back, well.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah, well, this whole nothing would be the same. It would have been hard for you to just get where you are today, because obviously you had the journey to embark on and of your own, and by coming back here, it was like it would have been maybe see you later, or I'm not ready, or something more like that.
And I think it was becoming to a point where it was very difficult to be around me as well, you know, because when you're never happy and when you're not comfortable, it's not about always sharing your dissatisfaction. It's about seeing someone who's damaged and is like drowning and drowning and drowning to the point where you cannot reach out to him. And even if you do dive in his desperation, at one point I think you understand it. You won't be able to reach out to that person. And I think it was to that point, and I also understood that later on. And after that, I had no intention to come back to that life, to come back to it, and that's why I said I was like kind of tired of rock and roll. I was tired of that setting. I was tired of, you know, to look at the surface, but from such a long distance down, that at one point when I really felt coming back, and I didn't want to be tempted to go deep, to fall even deeper after. And that there's a very you need to be honest with yourself at one point. But even if you want to be honest, and you're really like, you're saying, okay, well, I'm honest, I want to be honest, but I think that there's so much to take in.
Sure.
When you let everything on the side, that even if you're honest and you're real, and so that's why I'm saying that I'm so I don't trust truth, because truth is so is dependable on your feelings, and so that's why honesty will take things one thing at a time, that you need to discover a little bit like the reflection of the sky, what's going on, what it's all about. And after that, when I was in that that state of mind, I think that for me it became more of a reality of what I went through and what I wanted to live, and who I became as well, you know. The bad like the worst, the good like the amazing.
Exactly.
So that was the whole background, and I was writing so much that everything I was feeling and going through was like turning a page all the time. I wasn't thinking, so I need to write a book, I need to do this, I need to do that. It was really like turning pages after pages after pages after pages, and I felt like I had so much baggage, you know, and to talk about, that I kept writing and writing and writing. And when I talked with Ben, and Ben was like, he said, oh, you know, what were you talking about? Talk about grief, talk about love, talk about, you know, illusions and all that, and time, and all those like themes that could be very distant from you when you don't embrace them to that very deeply. And then after that, that's when we started to work on that project.